Hello, Black Magic, Gannicus here. This is going to be a video on refinements, how to do them and why to do them. The reason why I'm making this video is mostly because I've seen some new players out there, or some people that had some potential that made guilds or whatnot that are trying to fight, but they don't have refinements on their suits. And without those refinements, they'll never be able to be top-notch or at least competitive against, higher placed guilds. I'll show you the differences why, and then how to do them right afterwards. Okay, so as you can see, right now all of my resists are 70. I just put on some random suit that was not refined, so I can show you what these damages do. This is before being cursed, so this is, oops, I didn't even target myself there. So an explode E-bolt. 24. Actually, I believe that is the high end of the spectrum. I think it does 22 to 24 damage prior to being cursed. Now, if I am cursed, $30 and $32, and that's generally about where it jumps around from. I think it can go as low as 29, and I think on a rare day you might see 33. But alright, so now let's go. That stupid walrus, I should have muted that. Alright, so let's go to my refined suit. Now you see that I am cursed. Let's go ahead and heal myself. If I apple myself, these are all the resists that I like to have on my suit. I keep all of my characters at 30 DCI. I don't like to go above or below, but to each their own. People like to have higher DCI, and just depends. If you are going to only add one refinement, and this is a must for every suit, is to add fire, because everybody is going to be leading with an explode. Secondly, some people might go 35 DCI. They should be using energy as the second most important, from E-bolts, which is the second most followed up spell, and the hit lightning off of weapons. If you're going to 30 DCI like I do, you could do 75 cold or physical. I just prefer to kind of split it because it does help. It makes a difference. Alright, so let's go ahead and show the damage. So before, I believe it did 24 and 24, which is the high, I believe it was the high amount of damage. So this one did 19 and 19. I believe it does anywhere between 17 and 19. I could be wrong. Here, we can try it again one more time. Okay, so 18 and 19, it was still no variation. Now let's go ahead and curse myself. And before, what was it? It was 31 and 32, right? This one's 28 and 28. Here, we can do it one more time to see if there's any changes. But I do believe that actually 28's the high end. So actually this one did 25 and 25 in comparison to 30 to 32 damage. So I mean, that's showing like 7 hit points between each spell. So now if you can only imagine, if we have 4 mages that are casting Explode E-bolt with 7 damage extra in between each spell, it adds up. Alright, now let's show you how to do this. This is for an explanation, and I'll get back to it. I'm just going to show you what these things look like first, and how you would, and the names and which ones they do. So first thing is first, each one of these are different depending on the material you'll be refining. For the purposes of this video, you should pretty much only be refining bone and studded anyways, which you're going to have to come to Trinsic, the adventurer's clothing store. I can see where this is at on the map, so that helps at all. But the bridge is actually just like a little bit down here from where the gate's at. So Anyway, so these are the items that you actually would be looking for, and you do have to have tailoring if you want to convert these into this. Now, if you already bought these off of Vendor Search and then they're in this form, you don't need any skill at all. You can just come straight to the tailor and refine the suit. It does, like I said, this does matter for each different type. So let's say if you're using like the elf wooded gauntlets or whatnot, that I believe that's in the Holy City with you'd have to have carpentry, and with metal you have to go to Britain, and obviously you need blacksmithing instead. Alright, so these use cures. They're all called cures. This is for the bone and the studded again. And when you vendor search, like I said, you're going to be dependent on how many resists you need. So a cure defense is for people that are only going to aim for one resist. So just for fire resist only. And that's going to hit it every single time. These are actually pretty cheap. Cure protections, practically useless. I mean, they can be used if you find like really cheap ones. And it's an alternative to hardening. You're just hoping you have that, I believe, 15 to 30% chance to hitting that second resist, but it's low, so these are pretty much useless. Cures are hardening. They do 2 to 3 resists. There's a 70% chance that you're going to get 2 of those resists. Same with the fortification. In the cure of invulnerability. If I'm going too fast for you, just go ahead and read through this. I mean, they say the same thing, it just explains how they go in progression. So let's say if you want to refine with 35 DCI, that means that you're going to be wanting 2 resists on each. You're going to be going for the cure of hardening. And while it does have a chance of getting that 3rd resist, you're really only wanting to get 2 resists on each piece, which this one has a 70% chance to. See, if you were to have gone with the protection, you would have been using a lot more of them to hopefully get that second resist. There's just way better odds to go this route. Likewise, if you want 30 DCI, you should use the cures of fortification instead of hardening. Okay. To be able to convert these cures, fortification or whatever, you're going to need 20 leather braids per each piece that you convert. You can buy those from the weaver at each one of these tailor shops. If they are different for each material, so if you're going to be using metal at the Britain shop, the NPC there will have the material needed. I forgot what it's called. It's like some type of alloy, I think. And same for the wood. I just don't remember what they're called. I think it's called a varnish. So, as I mentioned, these convert. If you have tailoring, you can convert it. If you have blacksmithing for the metal ones, you'd have, like I said, you could do that in Brit. Those are called a different name, but let's go ahead and show you the best way to vendor search these as well. I already have it typed in here. So because all of my characters are 30 DCI, I pretty much only search for the fortification ones. In my experience, it does seem like bone are more rare than the studded, but they're there. I probably shouldn't have even have a vendor search. This is just the way to show you how to. Like, let's say if you're looking for hardening, you would have just removed fort and typed in hard instead. So cure bone hard. Or let's say if we're going for studded, we just go cure studded. You can just go cure stud hard. Now with studded, this is important because in this vendor search, a bunch of them are going to show up that say samurai studded or that are different. It has to say studded leather, and like you see, all these samurai ones are going to be the cheap ones. It'll probably be a little bit further down the list. Like if you wanted to be cheap, I'm sure one of these might be actually studded because somebody thought they were both worth the same and put it down there for the wrong price. But here we go. So that's actually a pretty reasonable price too. All right, now let's try this in action. Additional reminder, only pieces that are not mage armor can be refined. You have to remove the mage armor off of every piece by going to a mage guildmaster that you can find in any town, single clicking and converting to mage armor. And I'll show you the actual buttons and what to press. So Cure Fortification, these are the ones that I use. And this is the list that comes up. Now the fourth one is the bonus. See, there's a chance, a 30% chance of getting that third one. So this is going to be the one that I always don't want. So let's just say it's physical. Let's say if I wanted to have mine refined to physical, fire, and energy. Okay, so I'm aiming for, this will guarantee that I have physical, fire, and energy resistances. And like I said, the 30% chance to hit poison, which I don't want. I'm not going to actually use it because I don't want to refine this piece and I don't want to waste my resources, but hopefully this helped. If you have questions about for the metal or wood side, I can answer those later, or I guess you can just look on uo.com or the Stratix page or something. I know they explain it, it wasn't very clear.